Hi class, how are you today? Are you even listening to me? You better be. The learning target for today is to multiply monomials. First, let's talk about what a monomial is. A monomial is an algebraic expression consisting of one term. That means there's no adding or subtracting going on. Here are some examples of monomials. It can be just a number, like 7. It can be just a variable, like x. It can be a combination of them, 2y. It can be any combination of numbers and variables. Anything up to 5x squared y to the third z. Any combination of numbers and variables in multiplication will work. There just can't be any adding or subtracting going on. Then it's a polynomial, not a monomial. Now that you know what a monomial is, let's talk about a couple rules of exponents. Now, over the next few lessons, we're going to expand on this list, but for today, I'm only going to give you 2. So, the first one we're going to deal with is x to the m times x to the n. If you're multiplying two monomials with the same base, the number being raised to the exponent is the same, then you add the exponents. So that's the same thing as saying x to the m plus n. Here's an example. If you had, say, x to the 5th times x squared, you would add the exponents. 5 plus 2 is 7. So that would give you x to the 7th. One more rule. If you have an exponent being raised to an exponent, then what happens is you multiply the exponent. So that's the same thing as saying x to the m times n. So once again, if you had x to the 5th and then raise that to the 2nd, that would be x to the 10th, 5 times 2. So these are the 2 rules we're going to worry about today. There are a few more that we'll worry about in future lessons. Alright, now let's look at some examples. So here we have 3x squared times 4x cubed. So when you have the numbers in front, these are known as coefficients. You take the numbers in front and you multiply those first. So 3 times 4 will give us 12. Then we look at the exponents. So we have x squared times x to the 3rd. So remember, that's when you add the exponents. So that'll give us x to the 2 plus 3. So that'll give us, still 12 there, x to the 5th. And you don't have to always write this step out right here. If you know automatically 2 plus 3 is 5, you can just write 5. And that's the answer there. So 3x squared times 4x cubed will give us 12x to the 5th. Now let's look at this one. So here we have to multiply each thing separately. So here we have negative 6, and we have x, y squared, z cubed times 5, x to the 4th, y to the 5th, z to the 6th. So we have to multiply each thing separately. So first, the numbers. Negative 6 times 5 will give us negative 30. Then x times x to the 4th. One thing to note, if you have just x by itself, it's always to the 1st power. so x to the 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5, so that'll give us x to the 5th. Then we have y squared times y to the 5th, so 2 plus 5 is 7. So y to the 7th. And then z cubed times z to the 6th, 3 plus 6 is 9. So z to the 9th. Alright, this one will take a little bit more time. So first we want to look at, we have a monomial being raised to an exponent and another monomial being raised to an exponent. So first, we need to raise each of these to their respective exponents. So to do that, we need to look at the exponents. So first we have -3 squared. So we raise each thing to the exponent. So -3 squared, well, -3 squared is -3 times -3, which is a positive 9. Then x to the 4th squared, remember when we have an exponent being raised to an exponent, you multiply them. So x to the 4th squared will give us x to the 8th. Then y cubed squared, again, multiply the exponents, so y to the 6th. Then the other one. So 2 cubed, that's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Then x cubed, so it's just x cubed. And then y squared cubed, so again, multiply the exponents. 2 times 3 is again 6. So y to the 6th. Now, we're back to, similar to the last problem, we need to multiply those two. So multiply each individually. So 9 times 8 is 72. X to the 8th times x cubed will give us x to the 11th. Remember, add the exponents. And y to the 6th times y to the 6th. 6 plus 6 is 12. So y to the 12th. Alright, so now for the sponge activity. Once again, remember you have to attempt all the problems here in order to get credit. So, attempt these 3 problems, simplify each expression, just like we did in this video. If you're confused, go back and watch it again and try to understand the steps. It's the same kinds of steps, so if you just follow the steps, you should be able to do it with no problem. So, once again, please make sure to take notes on everything and attempt the sponge, and take a picture of your notes and the sponge, submit it to eBackpack. Have a good night.